Back to gore and feces and genitalia, making me wanna squeal. Yeah, Breaking Bears, it has no fears. Yeah, it's got bad comedy, bad writing, everything you could hope for to be crowned as the worst show that I've ever seen. Yeah, Breaking Bears is unbelievably awful. I don't even have a good intro for this one. I'm on episode 3. The last video I watched the first 2 episodes. All the other episodes have dropped. I'm gonna be watching them all, and just from episode 3 alone, it is by far one of the worst shows that I've ever seen. Like, subscribe, you know the drill. Let's get into it. I didn't think anything could top mating season in terms of just let's have 2 animals find each other and just thump each other. And by the way, I was banned for 2 weeks, so I might have to censor myself a little bit, you know, with the vernacular I'm using. So if you got a problem with that, I'm sorry. But yeah, mating season is just animals getting down and jiggy with each other. And then you have Breaking Bear, which includes that, but it's usually just, you know, self-deprecating type things where it's one animal alone just cranking their hog, getting down to it in really annoying ways. But then you just couple that with poop and pee and Jeffrey Epstein, and you just get a whole vernacular of one of the worst shows that I've ever seen in my entire life. The beginning of this episode involves around the bears finding out that a certain man didn't pay them enough money for all of their. So they gotta go find that guy, shake him down, and get it back. And it is just needless gore. It's not even like funny slapstick humor. They walk in, the big bear named Jur gets his tongue bit off by a piranha, and then the piranha gets loose, finds the owner of the store, latches on to his tiddlywinks, his goody gumdrops, and rips those off, so the man is on the floor just bleeding, and Jur just is spewing blood everywhere, all over everybody. And that is the opening scene. It's just needless gore that doesn't really have a comedic aspect to it, unless you're the type of person who's all like, there's so much blood, I crave the blood! You know, it just really didn't do it for me, especially at a comedy show. I don't know. It was just needless. Like, it didn't have any good jokes with it. It was just a guy bleeding to death on the floor, and that's not that funny to me personally, but get ready for this one. They then go to their trailer and they're discussing their living habits, their where they live, their habitat. And the school teacher is like, I don't really like you guys living here. I mean, all you guys do is just stank up the place. And that's when Jur releases a big old mean stinky fart.
Dead fish farts. Oh, God.
Ooh, hot dog. God, and I was saying this show didn't have any good comedian writers, because woo-wee, you're telling me this adult comedy has a lot of big old stanky farts, because oh boy, they just keep on rolling with it. So yeah, I'm having a great time. He farts it up, but the bears, that being Blair, the girl bear, Alistair, the smaller bear, and Jur, the big bear, they all have to find a new place to live. And we actually do get a good joke coming, but it's like one small pocket dimension of a 23-minute experience that kind of makes you feel like you're going insane a little bit. It doesn't feel good. I mean, first off, you come up to the squirrels, and they're talking to squirrels trying to find a place to live, and the squirrels are like, come here, my squirrel friend. Let me grab you, and can I consensually touch you? And they start getting freaky with each other, so that was cool. And then they give the squirrels some bear meth, and the squirrels then act completely normal. It's like instead of making them act crazy, it made them slow down, kind of like Hammy from Over the Hedge. You know, when he has when he has like an energy drink and he's going super fast and everything is slow to him and he's just acting kind of chill. It's kind of like that.
Weird. I feel like my brain works for the first time.
But the squirrels, they act normal, and I actually laughed at that. That was kind of funny. The squirrels all like, I can feel my brain finally working for the first time. That's a good joke. That's what I would want out of a show where animals are in the forest cooking meth. That's what I would like. But, that's kind of the only good joke, because it's just immediately followed by them going to this bunker. And that's where they get to stay, and there's a bunch of statues, and they're all naked, and Jer the bear is just going as he's just fondling statues like a bear would if a bear was attracted to the human female body. And then just count me lucky, I'm not going to show it on my screens, but the bear, the Jer bear, he walks up to a photo that has a old man in a bikini in it. And he just immediately starts cranking his hog, porking his peppermint patty, shaking his pig, letting the cows go out and graze some hay, whatever you want to call it. I don't know. The monetization police are like, whoosh, whoosh. So I have to do with what I can. Yeah, he's cranking his hog to the picture of the old man. Ain't that lovely? Ain't that something we could all appreciate? And I can't show you any of this because it's all too dangerous. You could watch it yourself. It's free on Tubi. As Jer the bear releases his potential children, I don't know what else to say, his white tsunami, we get a image of a man that I didn't expect to see, and it's none other than Jeffrey Epstein with a big old smile on his face. And so I was buckling myself in, getting excited, I guess, because Jeffrey Epstein is here. Maybe they can make fun of Jeffrey Epstein in some cool ways. And they really don't. Like, he's just kind of there. I mean, we'll get to it later. But he does that, and then immediately, right after releasing his thunder all over that picture of the old man, he is like, oh no, bro, I have to go outside and release some pee. So he goes outside and pisses, and then he poops. And he's all like, oh yeah, world, behold my beautiful bear poo. So he pooped, and then he decides to grab some of his feces and fling it across the forest, and it lands on a young wolf boy. And I'm thinking, oh, jeez, I'm getting excited, I'm getting thrilled. What beautiful jokes are they going to tell about some poo splashing on a young wolf boy's face? Nothing. He starts to eat it and slurp it down while saying it's yummy.
Pot roast with a brown gravy sauce?
Are you really expecting me to get excited and get laughing because, oh my god, like, you know, dogs, they like to eat feces. They like to eat poop. That's why it's funny. It's so hilarious that he loves eating fecal matter. Oh man, it's so relatable to what humans find funny. I just love watching a dog consume feces. So the wolves then declare war, and beautiful. That's great. So the wolves are declaring war. We cut back, and Alistair, the young bear, he meets Jeffrey Epstein. And I'm thinking, okay, they're going to have some heaters with Jeffrey Epstein. They're going to be able to truly showcase to me that they are capable of writing some good comedy here. I mean, you have a guy who is a horrible person, easy, like low-hanging fruit on how you can make fun of this guy in a unique way. It could be funny. There's millions of memes about Jeffrey Epstein. They could have literally just went online, looked it up, and made a couple of funny jokes. No, it's just Jeffrey Epstein just being all like, well, no, I kind of like them underage. Make sure that they're underage.
But I know how it feels when the one thing you love doing is something the whole world thinks is wrong.
That's pretty much it. He says, I like underage, and then he also claims that the entire world judged him mistakenly for one big mistake. Those are the two jokes, I shit you not, that they do with Jeffrey here. That's all they do. That's it. And then he convinces Alistair that he needs to go and smoke some more. So Alistair leaves to go and find that. And then Jer, he gets gifted with some artificial things that you would put on your snake that hides between a human's grass, you know, that thing that be flowing, the skin flute, to say the least. He puts it on there, and then Jeffrey sees him and is all like, oh yeah, I love you, Jer, let's go down to my dungeon where we do nasty things. So they go down to Jeffrey Epstein's dungeon, and we get no jokes about him, nothing interesting there. And then Jeffrey Epstein accidentally himself. That's it. That's it. They brought Jeffrey Epstein in to make Jeffrey Epstein go,
I really like underage children, and everybody judged me so falsely for one big mistake.
uh-oh, and then he himself. I don't know what to say about that. I didn't think you could possibly add a character like Jeffrey Epstein and make it so unbelievably awful. Like, it's genuinely like they were just a fan of Jeffrey Epstein. I mean, obviously he dies, but it's almost like Jeffrey was all like, hey, I would love to be on Breaking Bear. Can I be on Breaking Bear? But I'll die, though, so it's a little bit funny for the audience. Like, that's really what it feels like. It's not like they took a bunch of major shots at him. They did 2 jokes, and then he himself. Like, that's it. That's it. It's baffling. I couldn't believe it. So then Alistair, after he smokes, he runs up to Blair and proceeds to say that he didn't smoke the so it's perfectly fine because he put it up his bum. And then he releases a stinky ridden fart.
And I didn't!
Then how did you...
The poop hole loophole!
To cap off this beautiful episode in such a enthraping way. I truly feel like I'm connecting with the characters as they poop and pee and fart and jerk themselves, and I'm baffled that I'm not finding this to be one of my favorite stories ever created in fiction. Like, I don't know. It feels like if you were to give a 12-year-old full access into creating an adult comedy, this is what they would do. I watched another episode. It doesn't get any better. To paint you a picture of what I just went through, since I genuinely can't show you anything in the episode for like the first 10 minutes, and if you're not going to watch Breaking Bear, let me paint you a little bit of a picture of the two things that were going on in this episode. Imagine if you were watching Family Guy, and Peter walks up to Joe Swanson, and Joe Swanson is all like, hey, Peter, you want to watch me have with a panda bear? You want to watch it in multiple positions? And then Peter just sat in the corner of the room watching Joe get down and dirty with a panda for like 5 solid minutes, just moving around in every single position you could ever imagine. That is what happens in this episode with Alistair and a man in a furry outfit dressed as a panda. They get down and dirty and get freaky, and I guess they were showing all of the positions in order to create this shock factor when it's revealed that it's not even a woman and it's a dude in a furry costume. But, you know, I thought the trials and tribulations to get there weren't really worth my, experience. I didn't really like spending my time doing that. And you're probably thinking, okay, well, in between they must have had something good. And for that, I'll paint you another picture. Imagine Kermit the Frog and Miss Piggy are having a wondrous date night and it's time for a meal. Miss Piggy, what are we gonna eat tonight? Oh, Kermit, we're gonna eat a pig, Kermit. Oh, and they just start slorking down on a pig and getting down and dirty with each other at the same time. They're just consuming it. It's nothing but cannibalism, and that's what happens with a juror and this female reporter who is a human. They find a human body, and they start eating it together, and then they start getting down and dirty, having some interspecies entangling, if you catch my drift. Yep. Those are the 2 things that I get in the first 10 minutes. And then it gets a little bit better, but it's really not that entertaining. Like, it's fine action-wise, but story-wise, you just don't care, like, even remotely. It's revealed that the dude in the furry panda outfit is a Nazi. Yes, the Nazis are back, and they go and find the other furry Nazis. They have a furry Nazi costume competition because they're all, dressed up in costume. And then Blair, the bear, attacks all of them. They go out into the forest. The Nazis are the most unappealing and unthreatening villains you could ever have because Blair literally defeats all of them with dynamite and a blowtorch in like not even intelligent ways. She just like leaves dynamite behind her and then uses a torch on a gun that is pointed at her head and defeats them. It was just really underwhelming in a lot of ways. So this episode the entire concept of it, you had to have an entire group of people sitting around a table and be all like, all right, what do we need to create an entertaining episode of television?
I think we need 2 animals having.
Yes! Woo! And what else?
Excuse me for interrupting again, but I had another idea. What about just cannibalism with no jokes in between? Just a bear and a woman eating a dead body?
Yes! And you're making sure, my wondrous employee, there's not going to be any jokes thrown in between at all, right? Like, not a single, like, well-timed joke, a single funny thing that they're saying, just them eating the body, right? Just slurping it down and then getting down and dirty, having some interspecies entanglement, right? Just lots of coitus, right? That's what's gonna happen? Or are you sure?
And he's like, yes, why would I ever make something funny? It's funny because they're eating the dead body.
And then fighting Nazis. Does that sound like the perfect episode of television to you? Because it sounds like it to me. Gee whiz. I just can't wait for the next episode. I'm shaking in my boots. You know what doesn't help with this show? Is the fact that every single opening scene, it's in their HQ, Jeffrey Epstein's bunker, which is literally just a bunch of statues of naked people everywhere. So I can't show you 90% of their conversations that they're having, because in every single scene, they just have to be like, let's fine-tune this statue to have a female's bosom, her chest, her breasts, just hanging out and sculpted by the gods. In like every single scene where it's just downtime where they're talking about something important to the story. But then that brings me to my next point. Nothing is important about the story. I'm on episode 5 and this felt so unbelievably pointless until the final like 2 minutes. There was some, stuff that was cluing you in that the wolves and bears are at war and whatnot, and the bears frame the murder of a human from the first episode on the wolves. That's why they're fighting, but everything else is just unbelievably boring. The school teacher who's helping them with their cooking sessions of all the he is making a play that is straight out of Compton, so he goes to a biker bar, and it's revealed that the bikers aren't the Sons of Anarchy, they're the sons of Anne Hathaway. Yep. Cool. And then the bikers give them guns and give them everything they need, and so the school teacher, he's struggling to cook them enough to where they could get everything for the play. And that's about it for that entire episode. It's just really boring jokes when it comes to everything going on with the school teacher. The bear gets down and jiggy with the girl human that he likes. They're trying to get rid of another body and whatnot. I don't know. I'm getting bored even talking about it. It's just committing the cardinal sin of a animated show of any form of media, which you could be so bad that it could still be entertaining. It could still be great if a show is awful. But when you're boring, what am I supposed to do with that? Breaking Bear episode 6, you're probably thinking, gee whiz, when is it gonna start getting good? When is it gonna start being the heavy hitter that I know it could be? I mean, a Breaking Bad parody about bears? That sounds like an amazing concept about having to save the forest. When is this gonna start being a heavy hitter that will go down as one of the greatest animated shows of all time? Well, I can certainly tell you it's not this episode. This episode revolves around 3 things. Predators of the non-consensual kind. 2, pee, and a Sasquatch. We're going to combine those. And 3, Pete Davidson's... Yep, you heard that right. Pete Davidson's Thang That Swang. Yeah, those are the main 3 plot points of this episode, and I'm not even joking. I can't show you, like, basically the entire last 10 minutes of this episode because Pete Davidson's thang is just there the whole time. The whole time it's there, and it's like the most poorly blurred thing you could ever imagine, so I'm just staring at it. And frankly, I'm terrified. I'm frightened, and I don't like it. The episode starts off with this big old mansion party where Jur is there, and so is the reporter lady. And there's predators there like Bill Cosby, Kevin Spacey, P. Diddy. Yep, they're there. They're there. That's awesome. They're having a party, and then Jur gets because they want to eat him. Yep, cool. And then Blair, who fell off the cliff in the last episode, she is revealed to be going up to heaven because she died, and then a Sasquatch riding a unicorn appears. And I can't show you this because his horn isn't actually a horn. You can probably guess what it is. Just take a wild guess. Guess what the horn is. Guess. Are you guessing? Okay, you probably know what it is. It's the same thing as the horse's thing. And then the horse, in order to save Blair from death, begins to just pee in her mouth. Yep, peeing in her mouth. Yep. And then Blair summons Pablo Escobar. I'm not joking. She summons Pablo Escobar to give her advice on how to save the forest. And Pablo Escobar delivers. And then we go back to the party. And the reporter lady is tied up. And it's revealed who's going to unconsensually use her. And it's Pete Davidson. And it's kind of funny in like the context of the fact that Pete Davidson has dated so many like influential women, like Ariana Grande, Kim K. Like he just gets ladies, and he walks into the room and just underneath his cloak just drops his thang, and it's like 80 miles long. Like it's the biggest thang you've ever thanged. And so they decide to make it a pivotal point of the episode in which it's there almost all the time, like a demonic demon that haunts your nightmares, even as you grow, even as you get older. It's always there, your sleep paralysis demon. Instead of a demon staring at you in the corner of the room, the Hat Man, imagine if it was Pete Davidson's big old, fat, stinky, long, extra long thing that swang. Yeah, that's basically what this episode is like. So Jur, Alistair, and all of them, and Blair, they try to escape, and Pete Davidson's thang starts chasing them like a snake and wrapping around them, coiling them. And again, I can't show you all of this, so it's just word of mouth, but I swear this is what's happening. They are running through the forest eventually when they get rid of the grasp that it has. And eventually Bill Cosby finds Jur, who's trying to fit through a log, and he like tries to unbuckle his pants and use up Jur, and then Bill Cosby dies. I don't know. I'm really checking out here. I'm really checking out. I can't fathom this. If you watch this, I just want to tell you that you don't have to hate watch things. You don't have to do this. I do this because it's my career and I'm hoping that my suffering makes people laugh, but you don't have to. You could watch better things. I'm also rewatching Avatar: The Last Airbender right now, the animated version. It's beautiful. But instead of rewatching that and enjoying that, I'm watching Pete Davidson's big old stinky thing just continuously chase them through the forest. Blair eventually chops it off, and then the Sasquatch who helped save her life shows up and proceeds to devilishly lick her face, like aggressively.
Thank you, Howard.
You can call me Howie.
What else do I say? I don't know what else to say. I don't have any jokes to make about this. I don't know what to talk about. It's just not funny. It just sucks. Like, it was kind of funny to watch Pete Davidson's just elongated mess of flesh drop down. But then they made the next 15 minutes about how he's the biggest threat in the world and he can use it like a snake. And frankly, I'm just not into it. I'm not into Pete Davidson's thing. If you are, you probably love this. You're probably thinking like, ooh-wee, oh, Pete. But it's just not me, man. It's not me. I want this to be over. Episode 7 starts off with Jesse Eisenberg being revealed to also have been in the mansion, and he transforms into a werewolf because he's been getting freaky with the werewolf queen. You know that there was at least one 800-pound man who like threw his beer can at the screen like, yeah, the wolf queen, she's mine. Just panicking and screeching at the top of his lungs. Yeah, Jesse Eisenberg turns into a wolf and he starts licking his butt, just going down on himself like and licking himself as a wolf. And I get it. Haha, funny. That's something that dogs do. They lick themselves. Oh, God, they know exactly how to write good comedy. I'm telling you. It just gets better and better. So then he's explaining why he's a wolf, and apparently it's because Tom Zuckerberg didn't like that Jesse Eisenberg played him in The Social Network. And as we cut to Mark Zuckerberg, he's beating a seal to death. That actually just pissed me off. Like, I didn't want to see that at all, man. That was just sad. Like, I get it. Like, he's a heartless, cold monster. He's a lizard wearing skin. But did you really have to animate a seal getting beat to death? I just don't really see the appeal there. So Jesse Eisenberg got kidnapped, and that's how he ended up in the mansion in the last episode. I don't really care about that. Jesse Eisenberg's inclusion is whatever. I don't care. It's not good. And then all the wolves take off their pants and showcase their big, meaty fangs that swang between. And they all say that they're circumcised because they all reverted to Judaism, which is why they want to fight the Nazis, who again are returning as the villains for the episode. And that's great. And then they cook a lot of together. That's great. They do that. They start selling it. And then we get some stuff with Jur and the reporter human girl that he's dating, who now wants to kill him because she learns that Jur ate her brother. So she like threatens to kill him, but he has a gun kink. So when she points a gun at him, he gets aroused and starts going, "Oh yes, this is exactly what I needed." So they get down and dirty with each other. Yay, I guess. Thrilling. And then the episode goes to Alistair getting talked to by these two guys wearing bear outfits. They're furries, and it's revealed that they're also Nazis, except they're not racist. They're just into Nazi. They're not into Nazi fascism. They're into Nazi fashion. Yay! And Alistair gets close to them and then proceeds to start making out with both of them for genuinely no reason. They were having a conversation about how they're Nazis, and then all of a sudden, they're passionately making out with each other. What? Okay. And then Blair learns that Dwight, who is the teacher who helps them cook sometimes, sold the bikers, the sons of Anne Hathaway, bad meth. So the episode ends with her having guns pointed at her face. A big old cliffhanger. And gee whiz, we're going to the finale next episode. I'm unbelievably excited. God, it just keeps getting better and better and better and better. Yeah, this might be the worst show I've ever seen. I don't know. It's just making me sad to keep watching. I can't believe that Breaking Bear ends on a cliffhanger. I swear, if this is one of those things where there's already a season 2 in the making, they greenlit it and they're like, everybody's gonna love this. Let's get you on season 2 right now. I'm gonna lose my mind because this is so unbelievably bad. The ending does nothing. It's not even funny, man. Like, the first 10 minutes of it are just... They're just... That's all it is. It's Alistair and the two gay bears getting freaky with each other. Alistair eventually gets crabs from it, but they're getting freaky and just keep pounding. And then Jur and the human getting down and dirty in really kinky ways for the first 10 minutes of the finale. That's all it is. Does it play any relevance to the episode? No, not really. Jur and the human getting down and dirty is supposed to be funny because I'm so wet right now. Oh, I just busted everywhere. Ha ha ha. Hilarious. I'm having a wondrous time. And then you have Alistair getting crabs, which gives him like actual crabs, like he actually has crabs in his pants, like the animal. And for the rest of the episode, he's just basically has crabs. That is the only relevance it has for all of it. At the same time, throughout the entire episode, Dwight, who is the human who helps them cook all their math, he is playing his Straight Outta Compton play, and he's doing that for the entire episode. It's really not that funny or interesting. It's like a major key part of the finale, but it doesn't really matter. You have the biker gang and the Nazis there trying to stop or eventually planning to kill him, but they want to watch the entire play there first. Eventually, it's revealed that the leader of the Nazis is Kanye West. Yep. Jesus is here. And Kanye dies, but he doesn't die. He immediately comes back. And then they all want to kill Dwight. So Dwight flies away in a helicopter. And then they're chasing him. and then they pull him out of the helicopter and he falls, and one of the kids in the wheelchair says, "Hey, I'm gangster now," and shoots him in the head and kills him. And then Kanye is revealed to not actually be Kanye West. He's actually a polar bear, and he kidnaps Blair, setting up a season 2. I don't know what else to say about this show. It is genuinely one of the worst shows that I've ever seen, in the way that it relies solely on either humor, gross out humor revolving in piss, poop, and fart, which is such an odd thing to focus on when it's an adult comedy. I get it. You can think that children are all really dumb and can't understand comedy, and you make a show all about farting because, oh, you know, that 4-year-old's gonna laugh at a good old stinky one. But when you're making an adult show, you have the limitless potential to tell so many jokes that are okay for everybody, that are fun for everybody, and you have unlimited time to think about them. I guarantee you they weren't pressuring them to make this show extremely fast, and if they were, gee whiz, I don't know why. But just all of the humor aspects of the show fell flat in almost every single instance. I laughed once, and it was because squirrels smoked and then were acting normal, and I thought it was semi-funny. Out of the entire thing, that was the only time I laughed. And the characters, all of their arcs are unbelievably stupid, except for Blair. She is the only character that is consistent with the way that she views the world. Alistair just smokes and then goes around getting down and dirty with other animals, getting extra dirty. Jur is so unbelievably unlikable. He just likes to eat humans, and then his entire final 3 episodes are just him getting freaky with the human. That's it. That's all they do. They just get down and dirty with each other, and that's all there is. If they're gonna add a special character into the show, it usually is so weird. Like, why go through the effort of adding Jeffrey Epstein if you're not going to at least try to make some good jokes involving him? Like, you're adding a notorious pedophile who is genuinely one of the worst people that has ever existed, and you did nothing with this character other than hang him. Like, sure, I'd love to watch Jeffrey Epstein hang, but why aren't you going to do something more meaningful with that? You're just adding it for pure shock value. Same with Pete Davidson and his big old thing shaking down between his legs. It's just shock value. You don't do anything else with it. And then P. Diddy, Bill Cosby, RFK Jr., just all these different people that you're adding into the mix for no reason other than shock value. Why go through the effort of it if you're not going to try to make it funny? I'm not going to laugh just because I see Bill Cosby. I'm so sorry. It just doesn't work for me. There are so many things about the show that just doesn't work on so many levels, and it's insane that this was even made. I don't get it. I'll never understand it. One of the worst shows that I've ever seen by far. But I'm done. I'm free. I'm free from my shackles. I feel like a new man. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. Got lots of good content on the way. If you're watching this, I am unbanned. I'm currently banned as I'm recording this, and it's been one of the biggest struggles of my life. It's really depressing. I love making videos. I know I cover a lot of negative things, but the main thing that I love is getting people to laugh through whatever I'm watching, through my reactions and whatnot. It's never really about the show. It's more about me and how I'm reacting to it. That's what I always strive for. It's supposed to feel like a conversation with your friend. That's kind of what the vibe I'm going for is. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this one. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.